Hey, how's it, Aloha gang? Coming up on High Now, we are live at the Honolulu Museum of Art, checking out the Home of the Tigers exhibition. We're celebrating the works of students past and present from McKinley High School.
Plus, how students can apply for college scholarships from Kamehameha schools and the Pauahi Foundation. Then,
if I only had a beer.
Actor and filmmaker Branscombe Richmond joins us in studio to talk about his current and upcoming projects. All this and more right now on High Now Daily.
How's it, everybody? I'm Rachel Pocaro, and it is a perfect day to be holding things down in studio because it's National Taco Day, and our friends at Tio's Burritos has sent us over their birria tacos. I can't wait to sample that, but then I'm gonna have to pace myself because we're also trying out the burger of the month from Teddy's Bigger Burgers, and I just might be drinking one of their shakes today. It is a pumpkin spice one. I can't wait for that. And then I believe Drew Davis is gonna meet us on the show a little later because he's gonna give us a little bit of a sample of the weather forecast when it comes to that partial solar eclipse. But where in Hawaii is my co-host, Kainoa Carlson, and I think he's out at the Honolulu Museum of Art. Kainoa, what's happening?
That's right, mahalo Rachel. I'm doing my best to use my inside voice because we're standing inside the Honolulu Museum of Art. We're here to check out a great exhibition that's all about celebrating alumni and current students from McKinley High School. We're gonna bring in our very first guest. This is Alejandra Rojas Silva. She's the curator for Europe and the Americas here at the museum. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you for having us here. So let's talk about the Home of the Tigers. Alejandra, what is this exhibit all about?
This exhibit is celebrating our community. It's about Honolulu in the 20th century. It's about 7 very well-known alumni from McKinley High School and 3 of their teachers who inspired them.
And it's been really fun. We've been out here for about an hour or so, just kind of walking around and learning a lot. But I do want to come this way with you, Alejandra, because this is an important part as soon as you walk into the exhibit,
yes.
Right?
As soon as you walk in, the first thing you're gonna see is a maquette for Satoru Abe's Eternal Garden, which is a sculpture that is at McKinley High. The other thing you will see is Running Stallions, which is a John Young gift to McKinley after he graduated. So you have the works of 2 really well-known artists kind of dislocated. Any student that ever went to McKinley will recognize these 2 sculptures, and yet it's slightly in a different place. So this is kind of the part of the exhibition that brings you back to high school.
Okay, I love it. But we do want to tell everyone out there, now the exhibit isn't just for people who went to McKinley High School. This truly is an exhibit for everybody. And you mentioned as well some of the teachers and the educators who really helped inspire a lot of the artists.
Yes, so this first section of the exhibition is what's going to be talking about the teachers. In the rest of the exhibition, you're really going to get to see alumni work and how it matures. But in this part of the exhibition, we're talking about Shirley Russell, Minnie Fujita, and Charles Higa, and we pair them with some of the students that they inspired. So here, for example, we have the only 2 self-portraits in the exhibition. We have Shirley Russell at a mature age, and Keiichi Kimura probably just a few years after he graduated high school. And they were lifelong friends. This is a relationship that moved well past high school and into their whole lives.
And again, that's what a lot of this exhibition is about, is both pairing the artists with the inspiration behind the mentors who helped them. And then we have this beautiful statue right over here, and this is from Uncle Imai.
Yes, Uncle Imai, when we went to get the works for this exhibition in his segment, he brought out this ceramic and he said, I produced this work as a student of a very famous ceramicist, Charles Higa, who was his teacher at school. And we have here paired him with both Charles Higa and Minnie Fujita, who both taught and inspired him.
Oh, beautiful. Now, again, a lot of inspiration happening with the collection as well. And I do want to move over here and touch on these. This one by Shirley Russell and this one by John Young.
Yes, so John Young was a student of Shirley Russell's. In this kind of pairing, you can really see some of that inspiration, that similarity. But one of the things that I love about the little section of John Young is that you will recognize these stallions.
This is like the iconic image, right?
The iconic.
At McKinley High School.
Right, and everybody recognizes the stallions as John Young, but we have two other works, or three other works by John, all showing kind of very different moments in his artistic development. You
And
have
look at John over here, looking like a young stallion himself in that portrait.
I mean, honestly, who cannot look at John Young?
John Young is looking good right there.
His yearbook picture and not love
incredible
it.
works of art, and again, gave us these beautiful stallions, which is the iconic image that comes to mind when you think of McKinley High School. Now, tell everybody out there, when is the exhibit going to be up over here, and how do people come see it?
So the exhibition is open until January 12th. All children under 18 years old come in for free. So we're inviting all students to just come and see this great exhibition. It's open Wednesdays to Sunday.
Alejandra, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we're going to be hanging out over here at the Honolulu Museum of Art the entire show. We got a lot more great pieces of art that we want to show you in just a bit. But for now, from the artist here, we're going to send it back into the studio. I know Rachel's standing by with another artist of sorts. How's that?
We are doing awesome here in studio. Of course, we're going to talk all about filmmaking and a different type of art from what you just saw with Kainoa. And right now I'm sitting down with Richard Branscombe. Really, he needs no introduction because he's such a familiar face from Hollywood to Hawaii and everything in between.
I want to say thank you very much for my Kahlua pig taco with the margarita. That was Lily Coy. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Anytime
Thank
you're on
you.
High Now Daily.
Okay.
You go,
Just
come
to
on
set
in
the
and
record straight.
we feed you too. Welcome, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Much
Absolutely.
aloha.
You've been so busy, and I feel like we have just a ton of things to talk about. You've got upcoming projects, you've got current projects.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this one that you said was like 4 years in the making, and that's $1 million.
$1 Million was a labor of love for all of us. Myself as a producer, and Stefan Schaefer, director, producer, and Mr. Farnham, whose idea it was. And we're independent filmmakers on those movies, you know. There are times that we as performers and actors, you hit a good one, right? You like, I was in Aotearoa doing Jason Momoa's movie, Chief of War. And then you got to do the other stuff. You got to keep it going because we have a voice. And if you could do island pictures here in the state of Hawaii,
Yeah.
I think it's an important thing for everybody out there to keep your voice and not be ashamed to go ahead and vocal it. So Farnham did this little movie, and when you're reading the script, it's kind of crazy, you know. And we made it. We made it for the price that you got to make these for.
Yes.
And we're successful, and that's beautiful.
Okay, a little bit pupule, but
Yeah,
it's
it's a
going to
little-
be very entertaining. And this all stemmed from the $1, which was like on YouTube, and then he went and turned it into like a full-blown movie.
Yeah, $3.
Okay, $3.
$3. You didn't see that one.
No, we went $1 million.
$1 million.
Okay,
It's,
how fun was that?
It was
to film?
fun. I'll tell you it was great. A lot of local talent. And when someone says this is a docudrama, docu behind the scenes, it doesn't sink. You don't know exactly what it's going to be. And then as we saw the finished product, we went, hey, you know what? This is pretty good. We had some great cameos from some great people.
Yes.
And here we are. We're just doing it up.
Beautiful.
And it's going to play at HIF.
It's going to play at HIF,
Yeah.
that's right. So the Hawaii International Film Festival, that kicks off, like, what is it, next week already? Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Is it next? I think it's,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah.
We are in October, everyone.
Yeah.
Wow, time does fly. And so, of course, you're going to have to check that out at HIF. That's going to be airing there.
$1 million. Please go and see it.
$1 million. Okay, and then you're also part of PIF, which is the Pacific Island
Film Festival in New York City.
Yes. So
So-
tell me about what's going to be playing over there.
Gathering of Nations Oceania. So it's a little something I produced and directed. And it is to get the visual and the understanding of what happened, what we had here. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to think, what did we have here? Where
Fest Pack.
Fest Pack.
Yes, and I watched about 17 minutes of it, and I was so inspired because, of course, we covered it here with Hawaii News Now and on High Now Daily. Shout out Kaino Carlson. He was out there like every day of the 10 days.
Yeah.
And to see you folks put it in a different way and highlighting so many different cultures and talking to so many different people, it's big time.
You know, one of the most important things is that we of the Pacific Ocean must care for the Pacific Ocean, the biggest water mass on the planet.
Absolutely.
If we don't do what we're supposed to do, it's bad for everybody, not just us, but the guys who are living in the middle of America or in Europe. So that's what my little movie's all about.
Yeah.
And it is the people who are gendarmes of the ocean that they get to speak their piece. And we have a lot of great special guests on our show.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw how many folks we had.
Yes,
So-
and I watched just a snippet of it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be premiering, in New York.
In New York. So
right, in like 3
Let me
weeks.
see. I landed on the 16th. So on the 21st, I think, if Sunday's the 21st, that is when my little movie premieres.
Yeah.
And I think we're at the Smithsonian.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
How's that?
That's awesome. Wait.
The Smithsonian.
And then, I mean, just to be telling the stories of Hawaii, of course, but also representation of Pacific Islanders
That's
in
right.
media and out there in films. Tell me how special that is and why it's so important.
It's important because we're at the table. It's our time. We have voice. If you don't exercise that voice, it will be taken away from you because there's no activity. You got to be active. So, timing, chance, good fortune, persistence, talent. When the time comes, take a chance on yourself. God bless you. Got a little, a goodwill.
Yes.
Persistence is what kind of keeps it all together. Talent's always last. You could be the most talented person out there. If you never take a shot on yourself, you're down.
Yeah.
You're down, and then
Right.
nobody's going to take you seriously anymore. They're going to look at, oh yeah, bro, you do all this and that, and you may be number half the time, and then all of a sudden, it's the quiet guy who goes and goes, here's my show.
Actor, filmmaker, and motivational speaker.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you.
Little Pig Taco.
We'll get round two in a little bit.
Okay.
And then before we go to break, let me just ask you, how can we support local filmmakers here in Hawaii?
Well, you got to encourage them. They got to have a place to go ahead and take their films. Listen, it costs money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to come to you, or they're going to come to you and say, hi, sir, can you please write a check to make my dream come true? And that guy's going to say, cool, what's my ROI? Return on investment. And that's what it's always going to be. So, you can make films today with anything. I'm going to promote one little thing. If you got an iPhone 15 Pro Max, go, man, tell your stories. And you can edit it yourself. You can kind of get it out there. It's a start. If you don't start, you're never going to get anywhere. So start it.
There you go. You heard it right here from Richard Branscombe. And you know what? That just encouraged me to also upgrade my iPhone. I'm like way behind.
Got to. Because, I know more shoes.
No, because he just got a pedicure. He just got a pedicure. He told me so.
With my Little Pig Taco.
Let's go get it. Let's go get it. We'll be right back. You're watching High Now Daily. and welcome back to Hi Now Daily. Kamehameha Schools and the Pauahi Foundation are offering scholarships for Native Hawaiian students looking to further their education. And here to tell us more about this opportunity is Jay Mao and Derek Kang. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Aloha.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's talk about how you folks are supporting these Hawaiian learners after they end high school and they want to move on and do bigger and better things for their future.
Yeah, so if you think about education in general, it really is a privilege. So less than 7% of the world's population even have access to an education beyond their high school degree. So it's amazing that Kamehameha Schools had that vision to offer support. So my role is to support our alumni in colleges in the Pacific Northwest and the military. In addition to that, to have funding available for scholarships, not just for our alumni, but also for Native Hawaiians. So it really is a unique position to be in. No other school in the country offers things like this.
Wow.
So when you think about students who are supported academically, socially, personally, financially, they're going to be successful students. And successful students will do well in school. And then when they graduate, are going to be productive members of our community. And that's really what we want, productive members of society.
Absolutely. So for these students to go out into the world and then come back and give back to the community that they grew up in, right? That is always the goal when it comes to thinking about our children and their future. And then we want to talk about the scholarships. I know that there are hundreds of different scholarships when it comes to the Pauahi Foundation and Kamehameha Schools. So if you could talk a little bit about that, that would be great.
Sure. So Kamehameha Schools has actually two portfolios of scholarship opportunities. The first one is called the KS College Scholarships. Some people may know it as the Naho'okama Pauahi Scholarship, but we're kind of changing the name. It's a little of a tongue twister. But those scholarships are need-based scholarships to attend colleges, and those are for students pursuing an associate's all the way to graduate degrees. And it's for new college students, continuing college students, and students that are maybe returning back to college after years away or in a profession. We also have a portfolio of scholarships called the Pauahi Foundation. And that's over 150 privately funded scholarships that serve a wide range of students, majors, and different educational goals. So it's really important, and we want to get the word out there, that these students should be applying for both of these programs because they could get a scholarship from both and multiple scholarships. So they could stack these scholarship opportunities, which is what we want, the best options for our students.
Perfect. So you're not thinking just one or the other. Do both.
No, we want you to do both.
Do both.
Kamehameha Schools does apply their preference policy to these programs. So we really want students to understand that it is separate, but we want you to contact us so we can help you through that as well.
Yes. Okay. And then let's talk about the process, because when it comes to applying for financial aid and scholarships, it's lengthy, and sometimes you can be a little bit stir crazy over it because you're like, oh God, I got to do this. I want to do that. Is that the right one for me? So many questions, right? And then you just need help kind of bringing it all together. So tell me a little bit.
Sure. So everyone is busy.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how old you are, people are busy. So getting started early is really important. And today is an important date for us. Today's the opening date of the KS scholarships. And it'll be followed then by the Pauahi Foundation scholarships on the 15th. We're not going to talk about deadlines because everyone's going to apply early. They don't have to worry about it.
There you
go.
But
to find out more information on those scholarships and to apply, they'll go to ksbe.edu/college. Okay, people like me may need reminders. So the deadlines will be December 15th for the Pauahi Foundation scholarships, January 15th for the Kamehameha scholarships.
And you just saw that full screen that had all the information there. Also, if you had any questions, there's always the resource center, which I find so helpful. I've got a couple of kids already, with other scholarships that we've applied for with Kamehameha Schools. And every time I call the resource center, it's so amazing, super helpful, and they really get you where you need to be. Yeah. So tell us about the resource center.
So we actually have 8 resource centers across the Pai'aina. So statewide, almost every island has a resource center. And the awesome thing about the resource centers, besides the staff, is that majority of them actually live in the communities that they work in. So they're really a grassroots effort, helping out where they can. You can come to a Kamehameha Schools resource center for anything having to do with Kamehameha Schools. Whether you're applying for a college scholarship or admissions or doing your verification process, maybe you just need help. We have computers available for people who may not have access. We'll sit down with you, we'll answer your questions, we'll help you through the application process. You can even call us to say, can I check if I finished my application? We'll do that for you. So we're really, really happy and excited that our community has a place to go that doesn't necessarily have to be at our campuses, that they can access at any time.
Beautiful. And then one more time before we go to break, where can you apply for all the scholarships?
Sure. So it's ksbe.edu/college.
Beautiful.
We also want to put a plug in for those that are on the island of Oahu during fall break from October 7th to 11th. We are offering help sessions at our Kapalama campus, Pauahi building from 8 to 11 a.m. We really encourage students to come, especially high school seniors, but also their parents. Makua are a vital part of the college application and scholarship process, so they have to invest in it with them as well. So we want the parents to come as well.
All right, you heard it, parents and students, a lot to talk about. Go ahead and fill out those applications. It is a process, but they're gonna help you out through the entire way. We are gonna take a quick break and we'll be back with more of Hi Now Daily. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Right on.
How's it, Aloha gang, and welcome back to Hi Now Daily. As we say here in Hawaii, if can, then can. If no can, then no can. But this is Tyler, and Tyler can. But this is actually Tyler Can. Okay, he's the senior curator for modern and contemporary art right over here at the museum. How's it, Tyler?
It's a pleasure.
We're very grateful to be here, and we're talking all about this new exhibition. Now, earlier we were talking about some of the artists that are featured, but what's special is a lot of this is curated, especially this section. A lot of these local artists started here in Hawaii, but went abroad to New York City.
Exactly. So there's 3 artists in this exhibition who obviously graduated from McKinley High and then went to New York and basically stayed there for the bulk of their career. The first one I'll introduce you to is Raymond Han. He came out of the Korean community that surrounds us here in the museum. And he, developed these really beautiful and really meticulous still life paintings that actually include both sort of Asian ceramics and Anglo or European sort of metalwork and glass. And it's a really sort of poetic sensibility.
And the detail
that he
and all of the texture that you see in a lot of the portraits is beautiful. And then after Raymond, who else do we have over here? This is Robert Kobayashi.
So, yeah, this work, including the fly on the wall, is by Robert Kobayashi, who actually sort of joined the US military after graduating in 1944. So he was in Germany. And when he came back, like many of these artists that we're going to talk about, had the GI Bill and went to school in New York City and then stayed. They became part of and participated in all of the movements that we sort of hear about, of like pop art or abstraction, geometric abstraction, surrealism, and others. So this is the work of Ralph Iwamoto, who like Robert Kobayashi, worked at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. And they became friends with some of the sort of most famous artists to come out of this period. And really, you know, this exhibition isn't suggesting that these are like secondary figures. They participated in all of these movements. And so we really wanted to highlight and focus on that.
That is amazing too. And then when you think about the connections that go back that amount of time, Hawaii being in New York City, and then these artists being a part of what was such a powerful time.
Absolutely. You know, and these artists who fought in American wars coming from Hawaii, and that includes the youngest artist in our exhibition, born in 1946, Imai Kalani Kalahele, who graduated in 66 and was immediately drafted into the Vietnam War.
Wow.
Like so many people, came back really politically activated. Imai Kalani Kalahele participated in the Hawaiian Renaissance, became a really powerful voice for Native Hawaiian resistance and cultural resilience. He is not only a painter, but also really recognized as a poet. So we are really thrilled to include some of his poetry alongside his paintings.
And then we were seeing his works in the video that was playing as well. So he's living. He is one of the artists. So I'm so curious, what has it been like connecting with him now? I mean, he's such a
I can't tell you, I mean, really the definition of aloha. We are so grateful to have worked to be working with Imai Kalani Kalahele. It's been a real joy.
I love that. We do want to show you folks two more artists before we wrap up over here inside. Now tell us about these as well, Tyler. We have Satoru Abe, who many of the McKinley students.
Yes, and Keiichi Kimura here, who you know, also fought in the Second World War as part of the 100th Battalion of the 442nd. These are two paintings that he produced during that time, during the war. Very quickly, he, you know, following the war, he went to New York City. Both Satoru Abe and Keiichi Kimura came back to Hawaii in 1950. So they gained a certain amount of renown, you know, in that time, but made the decision to come back. And yeah, there's just a really intensely personal sort of work and beautiful sort of sense of color that Keiichi Kimura has. That I think is really expressed throughout the both the early work in the exhibition up to and including some of the really late small pastels that he produced.
This has been a really special experience being over here. And again, the exhibit is going to be here till January 12th.
Correct.
So people are invited to come down and check it out. Students are free, correct? 18
that is
and under.
correct, 18 and under. And we will be having a retrospective Satoru Abe as well. His work is amazing, and he is one of the two artists that is still with us.
Awesome. Tyler, thank you so much for the time.
What a pleasure.
Cannot encourage you folks enough. Come on down here to the museum.
Thank you so
and
much.
Check it out. And again, it's not just for McKinley Tiger, alumni, family, and friends. This exhibition truly is for everybody. Rachel, Drew, we'll send it to you.
Thanks, Kainoa. What's up, Drew?
We've got another First Alert Weather 101 today. We're going to show you that. This is about the eclipse that's happening tomorrow. Hey, remember all of that talk about eclipses back in April of this year? The total solar eclipse that moved across the continental United States? Well, you have another chance to view a partial eclipse here in Hawaii on October 2nd of this year. Have you ever wondered what causes eclipses? Is there any more to it than the moon moving in front of the sun? Well, we're going to find out today on First Alert Weather 101. Okay, first off, we're going to talk about the types of eclipses, which are all based on the position of the sun, moon, and Earth. Light is constantly radiating from the sun, and that light is blocked by either the Earth or the moon. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes in between the sun and the planet, leading to the moon casting a shadow down here on Earth. And there's different types of solar eclipses too, a total eclipse and an annular eclipse. An annular eclipse is when the moon isn't close enough to the Earth to completely block out the sun, leading to the ring of fire effect you see during an annular eclipse. The sun is still visible along the outer edge of the moon. And Earth's total eclipses are unique in the way that the moon is the right shape and close enough to completely block out the sun. And during a lunar eclipse, the order of the sun, moon, and Earth is switched up. The Earth is now in between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow on Earth's lunar companion. And don't forget, you have another chance to view a partial eclipse during sunrise on October 2nd, 2024 here in Hawaii. The sun will be 45% obscured by the moon. And that's it for First Alert Weather 101 today. Class dismissed. Class dismissed indeed. Of course, the eclipse is coming up tomorrow. I want to show you on our First Alert weather forecast. This is going to be tomorrow morning. You're going to see the sunrise with a chunk of it actually gone as it's coming up. So tomorrow morning during sunrise, you're going to see the eclipse. And at maximum eclipse at 6:45 a.m. tomorrow, you're going to see about 46.9% of the sun obscured. This is more of the sun blocked than we saw back in April 8th of this year, where there was the total solar eclipse across the continental United States. We only saw a sliver here in Hawaii. It's going to be ending later this evening, or later that morning around 7:52 a.m. outside of the eclipse tomorrow. We've got a beautiful week in store for you. Moderate trades through Wednesday, a pocket of moisture out to our east, and weaker trades Thursday and onward. It's going to be a little bit more humid this weekend, and we could see a couple of showers out there throughout Saturday and Sunday, some pop-up isolated showers. We're going to be tracking this throughout the rest of the week. That was First Alert Weather 1. Get up tomorrow and watch the eclipse. You're watching High Now Daily.
Aloha and welcome back to Hi Now Daily. It's National Taco Day, and Tio's Burritos, they hooked it up with their new birria tacos. Take a look at this. This is so good because it also comes with the consomme. They've got the tender, slow braised beef, marinated in a blend of rich chilies and spices. It's so juicy, it just melts in your mouth. And the best part is that their tortillas are actually dipped in this consomme here and then fried. That's why you're gonna get that crispy outside. But I gotta just do the dip right now for National Taco Day. I'm gonna take this and take a little bite. Ooh, that's the best part. It kind of drops into the bowl and then you sip it. Yeah. Ooh, that has a lot of heat on it. That's so good. Let me go for it. And that consomme is nice and spicy but smoky. This right here is so delicious. Go ahead and check them out. This is Tio's Burritos. Celebrate your National Taco Day over there. You've got the details on the screen. It's out on Keohole Street, which is at Hawaii Kai Shopping Center, right there out on the waterfront. You can always order ahead on their app because it's the Bigger Rewards app, or order online. So good. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back with more of Hi Now Daily. I'm going in for seconds. Welcome back to Hi Now Daily. Last night, Kainoa emceed an event at the Sheraton Waikiki for the Hawaii Restaurant Association's 16th Annual Hall of Fame Emerald Gala. 5 inductees were recognized, including Domino's Hawaii's Mike Rompel. We put together a special video that focuses on his journey. Take a look.
So when I started with Domino's, I was 19 years old. I became a manager in a few months, and then I became an area supervisor. So I always knew I wanted to own my own business when I was growing up as a child. I never thought it would be with Domino's. I felt like I was learning the business much faster in the business than I was in school. Just looking at the P&L, I realized, oh, you know, I could make some money doing this. Really, in 1997, I made the decision that I would try to buy a store. The grind was real, you know, you're talking about decades of grind. In America, I always feel like you can become financially independent from nothing in 10 years. I feel like it took me 20 years to get to the 10-year mark. It's never good to tell your wife you're gonna live above the Domino's store with your family of 4 in a 1-bedroom apartment. We had to do what we had to do in order to pay the bills at the store. My motivation was constantly to just get them out of this 1-bedroom apartment. We bought stores that were losing money, and so we just wanted to get to the point where we weren't losing money anymore. And so it was always good when we introduced new menu items, because then my diet had a little bit of change. If I was good at any one thing, I was good at making big goals. Not always achieving them, but making big goals to just keep fighting. When we first started to make a little money in the original 6 stores, instead of experiencing any of that profitability, we just built more stores. And I remember specific times in my life where when we had 9 stores, I said, well, we could just do this, keep doing this well, but we really wouldn't have changed the market. But we never stopped to realize the profits or the benefits that we had built until many, many years later. For 18 years, I had learned the Domino's business and applied it. And there's like a psalm, I think it's Psalm 119, that says, order my steps in thy word. It really put my life in order. If you know a lot of stuff and you do a lot of stuff, but you don't do it in the proper order, there are no results. And that really helped me to align my goals, you know, how I take care of my team members. The things that were most important became most important. You know, for being a quick service business, we have so many people that have been with us 10, 15, 20 years. We're an entry-level employer. I would like to see them move forward. You know, it's my responsibility to find them positions where they can afford to stay with us and still reach their dreams and goals, you know. You know, growing up, we didn't always have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but my mom always said that we could do anything that we wanted to do. I feel like as a kid, I was naive enough to believe her. You know, as a kid, I always felt like I could change the world. And as an adult, I still feel like I can change the world. It's not an easy job, but it's a rewarding job. Oftentimes, I sit in bed and go, well, I could sleep in, you know, who's gonna tell me no? But I can't do it, you know? Even Carla, you know, at this point pushes me to make sure that I do get up and that we do try to achieve these goals for others and try to be a positive in the community. Hawaii is one of the most challenging markets in the world, and thank God for that, because I feel like you get the best and the brightest out of Hawaii. Being in a challenging market gives me the opportunity to support others that are going through that challenge, and I think it's not only a privilege, it's a responsibility, right? I think it's an important role that I need to play. Nobody should ever set out to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's just a result of what happened based on having other goals and dreams. Gives me a little bit of gratitude in the sacrifices that I made and that my family made and that my team members made. We can take a little moment to just breathe and say, wow, you know, maybe we accomplished something there that people weren't expecting. You know, we were the smallest pizza player there was. We had 6 stores losing $600,000 a year. You know, the biggest chain was doing $50 million a year in business. We never anticipated getting to that point. We never set that as a goal. But every time we met one little goal, we would just move the bar and just keep making more and more goals. And then here we are. You know, Hawaii being Hawaii, I feel like I never would have survived this if it wasn't Hawaii. And so mahalo to Hawaii, mahalo to everybody. There's not enough words that I could say to be honored in this way and to just be thankful to my team and family.
Congratulations, Mike! And by the way, this week there's a special deal for Domino's. It's online only, 50% off all pizzas at menu price. Online only now through Sunday, October 6th. For details, visit their website, Domino's.com. You're watching Hi Now Daily. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
How's it, Aloha gang, and welcome back to High Now Daily. All show today, we have been live here at the Honolulu Museum of Art, and we want to bring in our next guest. This is Christine Buttress. She is the Associate Director for Learning and Engagement here at the museum. Now, Christine, we've seen a lot of the work from McKinley artists of the past, but what we're looking at here is the present.
Yes, we're looking at today's artists from McKinley. I think the wonderful thing about it is the legacy that the former alumni have left for these students. We had a wonderful time working with their teachers and with the students themselves, and you know, we shared who the artists are. They learnt more about their work and what they created to draw inspiration from them.
Okay,
yeah.
Now this is like full circle, because again, we were looking at some of the works that were inspired previously, dating all the way back to the 30s and the 40s, and now this is current. So what were the students told before creating these pieces?
Sure. So this particular group of students were more about, you know, McKinley pride. So you see the Tigers, you know, go Tigers.
You see the theme. I'm seeing the theme with the Tigers. Okay.
Right.
And also, in addition to that, a lot of the students who put these together also had that opportunity to take a tour of the exhibit inside. What was that experience like?
Absolutely. So, I mean, you know, they came, they learned some more about the artists, they got to talk with us, with the curators, and yeah, again, draw more inspiration. But I think as well, like learning more about where the artists and where they've come from, I think just, you know, they gave them a sense of pride. And so here on this wall, you do see more of the inspiration from the artists that are currently in the exhibition.
Now, Christine, speaking of inspiration, when you're looking at the Tiger's Roar that is out here, you're also going to see this QR code that's a part of the gallery wall as well. Now, what does that QR code do?
Okay, so that takes you to the gallery hunt. So what you're going to see there are some of the works that the students created, and it's asking our visitors to find the inspiration to take them back into the exhibition and see if they can compare and contrast and figure out who the artists are that inspired those particular students.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, you know, our educators are such an important part of this whole process and program. What was that experience like, combining both the resources here at the museum, but then working alongside all of the mentors and the teachers at McKinley High School?
They are an amazing group of teachers. They've been great about inserting this as part of their curriculum, which has been wonderful. But again, you're seeing that inspiration, just as you've seen Shirley Russell and the teachers in the exhibition, you're still seeing that continuum happen. So, I mean, kudos to them.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, Christine, you had the opportunity to teach some of our young artists as well, as a lot of the McKinley students took art classes right over here at the museum.
Yes, so some of the students that, that you see on this wall are, yes, they are very much a part of the classes at the art school.
Now, when you think about an entire exhibit like this coming together, what do you think it represents, especially the more and more as we talk about the connection with the museum being tied so closely to the community, and with McKinley having roots right over here at the museum as well?
I think it's great that they see themselves. Right, they've seen their former alumni. There's a sense of pride. There's you know, a sense of community, and you know, yeah.
Absolutely.
They're the future, right?
Definitely. Now, Christine, I do want you to tell everyone out there as well, because in addition to, there's many great exhibitions that are over here at the museum, but how do we stay up to date for the art classes, get a chance to sit down and learn and maybe get a little bit more creative? You know, if I want to pursue that, how do we do all that?
Okay, yes, of course. So you can go straight to our website and you can see the range of classes that are currently on offer.
Right on, Christine.
And we do have a class with a former alumni, Lauren Hannah Chai.
Awesome.
Who also went to McKinley High School, and yes, so she'll be doing a drawing class here.
And I saw that a lot of, even when you're inside the exhibition as well, those were student profiles, right? Basically talking about what the exhibit means to them, correct? What were some of those conversations like?
Right, so there are what we community voices. So yeah, so we have people who knew the artists really well. We had former students sharing, you know, their experiences, what they've gotten out of again, learning about these artists.
Beautiful. Christine, thank you so much for the time. And again, the exhibition is going to be here all the way until January 12th. 18 and under students free to come down and check it out. We're going to head to break right now. You're watching High Now Daily, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Now from birria to burgers, here we go. We're looking at the burger of the month at Teddy's Bigger Burgers, and it's called the Ghost Pepper Burger. It's actually really perfect for this month because of course it's October, you're talking Halloween, so a ghost pepper burger. It is perfectly charred boiled, a double ground chuck patty packed with savory flavor. Now this ghost pepper is perfect for, or actually it's really disguised into the sauce that's in there. So it adds just the right amount of heat. It's like a little kick. Then they add that melted pepper jack to it. Gives it a little creamy spiciness. And then of course, if you think you can't get any better, they go ahead and add some thick cut bacon to bring it all home. And that's about what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring this on over to me and I'm gonna try this out. This looks so good. It's a double. Okay, this is really good. It's smoky, you can tell because of course it's charred boiled. And I'm sorry, I'm talking right now and eating, but this is so good. This is really, really good. Nice and warm. All the flavors coming together for this one. Nice and juicy, and I think I really love that the aioli in here is a little bit spicy, but just the perfect amount of heat. And to kind of bring down the heat a bit, we've got a little bit of that shake over here. This is a nice portion for moi. It's perfect for the fall flavors. So what you're gonna see in here is kind of that pumpkin spice. So you've got that spice from the burger, you got the pumpkin spice over here. It's rich and it's velvety. It's made with Dave's ice cream. And now that's a locally made ice cream here in Hawaii. Then inside there, you're gonna see it's blended with some cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove spices. Again, it's bringing the warmth of the holiday season. I'm gonna bring that on over to me. Ooh. Oh, that's the one. This is a perfect combination, so make sure you go ahead and check this out. Teddy's Bigger Burgers, check the screen. There are locations all across Oahu. You can always order ahead at teddysbb.com. Make sure you download that Bigger Rewards app. That's where it's at. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna finish this up. We'll see you tomorrow.